Hello, I'm Christine. Welcome to Book Talk. Today we are discussing the third book in Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Thorns and Roses trilogy, A Court of Wings and Ruin. War. You don't know how many times I wanted to say A Court of War and Ruin, A Court of Mist and War, Court of War and Roses. I give it a 94.5%, like a 95. It's a 95. I love Sarah J. Maas's books. That's gonna be it, I think, for my non-spoilery section here, because there's nothing else to say that's not gonna spoil you. If you haven't read it yet, leave. Go read the other two books if you haven't read those yet. I have book talks for every single book. I actually have book talks for every single book that Sarah J. Maas has written. If you're interested, please definitely go check those out. I'll link them in the description. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye, non-spoilery people. Bye-bye. Okay. So, unlike the opening of Court of Mist and Fury, when Feyre is in this, like, confused, depressed, sad place, we open up A Court of Wings and Ruin, and Feyre is in this constant state of, like, patting herself on the back. She's re-entered the spring court, totally undercover. Every other sentence, she's like, watch me act like a mother right now. The painting was a lie. A bright, pretty lie. This painting is such a reflection of how good of an actress I am. I nailed that. Anthe ate it all up. Tamlin totally believed me. I'm so careful. I'm so witty. I'm so good at tricking Tamlin. Little do they know. This goes on for like 100 pages. Okay, Feyre, yeah, you're doing a great job, but like, it can't be that great. Let's take it down a few notches and just like, give reality a scan. There's something going on with the bond. You can't really hear Rysand. There's something going on with your powers because you keep getting headaches. Like, I don't remember no headaches from last time. Something's going on, but you're just like too obsessed with your newfound acting career to pay attention to it. Oy. We finally have the day that she's gonna escape. Oh yeah, actually, we've been slowly poisoning you this entire time and you didn't even notice. Damn it, Feyre! You got cocky. Sit down. And then we're off to the races with Lucien. It was frustrating because they had no powers. This is what happens when your head gets too big. What now, Oscar-nominated Feyre? How we escaped this gang of murderous Lucien brothers. We had to wait for someone to save us. I hate when we have to wait for someone to save us. And I feel like that happens so much. So often in this book, we just deplete our magic. And it's so frustrating. It's like, don't do that. You're gonna deplete yourself. Like, Feyre's stuck in the middle with the Suriel dying. And she's like, I can heal you. And he's like, no, don't. I'm dying. No, but I can heal you. No, don't. I'm dying. No, but like, let me stay here and sing you to sleep. Like Katniss and Rue in the Hunger Games. We've practically had the same relationship. We have to go to the biggest battle of our lives tomorrow. And it's gonna be a slaughterhouse. But you know what we should spend the night doing? Winnowing every person we possibly can to safety so that we definitely die tomorrow. It's a nice sentiment, but dude, do you want like a 50% chance of saving the world? Or like a 15% of chance? Don't even get me started when we were putting the bathtub back together at the end of the book. Oh my god, I was furious when he was like, why don't you try to fix it? Be a conduit. Oh no, but we're drained. Just try me. Just do it. Like, how can you not see that this man is sacrificing himself right now? How can you not see that he's like, it's fine. Let me die for this. And I get like, yeah, you've just been through a lot of shit and you're really tired and maybe you're not picking up on these things. But like, when he was like, I love you. I'm like, stop it. I literally out loud screamed, he's gonna die. And then what happens a page later? Oh, I turned around. Look, Rysand's dead. The rage in that moment, I don't even know what came over me. Like, I literally chucked this across my apartment and it landed in my kitchen, like folded over like this. Luckily, I have two, so I mean, like, this is my copy to throw around. After a minute of being so mad at Feyre, I got up and picked it up because I was like, when was the last time I did this? Oh yeah, in Queen of Shadows. And then like, I opened up the first page of the next chapter and things were fine. So I went and picked it up and things ended up being fine. It was stressful. I was like, bring him back. Freaking the out. So was I. But like, we knew in that moment when she was screaming about bringing him back, oh yeah, they brought her. I just didn't remember that. We really got a complete happily ever after. We got to like have our cake and completely eat it too. Except for Daddy Warbucks, Daddy Archeron. For the most part, we came back unscathed somehow. Like, I thought for sure a major character was going down. I was crying. I thought it was gonna be Cassian. I was so upset, and then it wasn't. And then I was like, oh, it's gonna be Armin. Okay, I'm okay with this sacrifice. And then it wasn't. Then it was Rysand. And I was like, no. And then it wasn't. I love when they're doing like the seeds of power and they have to drop it into Rysand. And then it's Feyre's turn and she's like, come on. And everyone's just watching her and she's like, somebody shut me out! Rysand just like wakes up like Sleeping Beauty and is like, something either went very right or went very wrong now that we're all here. Really? That's what you have to say right now? Don't worry, I didn't steal any of your powers. The Suriel that we sing to sleep. Does he look like Gollum? Because that's all I can picture is Gollum. Feyre, you're here to see me again. I like him as Gollum. Like, I feel like it's a cute little Gollum redemption story that we're getting with the Suriel. I'm really happy that Anthe got eaten by the Weaver. Let's talk about Eris. At the start of the book, we look at him as the evilest of the Baron brothers. He's the one who was betrothed to Mor. Mor did not want to marry him. He left her out to die. I can't remember the exact circumstances. It was bad. But looks like we're edging toward an Eric redemption arc. I don't know what it's gonna be, but little Eric seems to think he was doing something that he had to let her go. And I don't know, like, I'm open to this redemption plot. We don't know his side of the story, but we didn't get it completely in this book. And now we know a lot more about Mor. I want to see Mor find love. This whole time, these whole 3 books, I was like, it doesn't feel like she likes Azriel. Everyone keeps saying like, yeah, they love each other, but like, she so obviously tries to show him that she's not interested. She's attracted to both sexes, but she prefers women. She's never been open about it because in her family, she was supposed to produce heirs. It's been like a million years, and she's been keeping both Cassian and Az on the line. You can see that Cassian's even struggling giving all his attention to Nesta because he's afraid of what Mor will think. When she was like helping Cassian with his broken wrist or whatever and Mor came in, are you hurt? And Cassian was like, oh no baby, I'm fine, and like completely ignored Nesta. I ship Cassian and Nesta so hard. Every time they had any sort of moment, I was like, oh, did you The book starts out and Elaine like will not accept her new life. She doesn't eat, she stares out the window, she says weird ass things, and it's finally revealed that she's a seer now. So the Night Court has their own like personal oracle, which I'm sure is going to come in handy in the new series. We also have this like random Swan Princess retelling going on like in the country next to them. I don't know what's up over there. There's a dark sorcerer. The dark sorcerer has the last queen. I was expecting this queen to be kind of cool, but at the end I'm getting like a little bit of a gossip girl vibe happening for her. Feyre had just like saved the whole world. Like she put together the bathtub that created the universe so that your world didn't implode on itself. And this queen just like walks up into Feyre's house, demands to speak to her, demands that Feyre break her curse. Who are you? Feyre kind of explains that like, well, we're gonna talk about this and hopefully we can find a way to break your curse. The queen's just like, I have to go back? You're gonna need my help in the future? You think about how you can break my curse. Okay. We also learned that this queen's ancestor is actually the only serious romantic interest that Mor had ever had. Mor fell in love with this queen who was human, and then the wall was put up, and by the time she found her again, she had kids and a husband. In this book, some of my favorite scenes were the flying lessons. Azriel is giving Feyre flying lessons because Feyre wants to learn to fly, and like it's something I don't really even think about because when people fly in things, we just assume that they like innately knew how. I love that we're like actually getting into this and it's an actual issue that Feyre has to learn to fly. In that first flying lesson, I felt like I was learning to fly. Like I felt like I had to grow those wings out my back. Like I could feel exactly what she was describing so well. It was just like very well written. I really enjoyed it. I love when she first grows them and he's like, okay, lift them. And she's like, are you kidding? Like, she can't even lift the wings. You really have to work on these muscles to be able to support these things growing out of your back. She like strains and she's able to lift like one wing off the ground. So we have this first battle in Adriata in the summer court. They're tipped off by plot twist Amren's lover, who is a prince in the summer court. What? Mor and Feyre winnow into the castle looking badass AF. And then like dun dun dun. Another one bites the dust, just starts playing. Mor and her sickle as she like chops off people's heads. Dun dun dun. And then you see Feyre and she's like exploding people with fire from the inside and drowning them. And another one down, and another one down, another one bites. And then it's like, and like everything goes dark and they're like, bum, bum, bum. Another one bites the dust. And they've taken the castle. It just reminded me of that season 3 opener of The Walking Dead when our crew just like takes the prison. We finally get more of an idea who Armin is right dead center in the middle of A Court in Wings and Ruin. I started reading this part like as I was getting in the shower. Got in the shower and all of a sudden my brain starts whirling and having an epiphany. All of a sudden I need to reread a part of Empire of Storms. Like need to so much that I literally got out of the shower, no towel, because like I had just gotten in, walked outside into my living room in the dark, found Empire of Storms, opened it up, turned on like my little light, and stood there naked reading until I found the part I was looking for. We talk a lot about Armin's eyes. They're like this burning molten silver. Same thing going on with Nesta after the cauldron. Armin though is from another world. That world had humans. We learn that the bone carver is actually the god of death, also from that other world. And then we've got the weaver, who's like his sister, but they're gods, which means like automatically Armin had to be a god as well. So, you know, she's considered kind of perfect in her world and all this stuff. It was just like pointing to God, 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 God. Now, I raced back to Empire of Storms to read this specific scene in the Pirate's Cove with Selena on the boat. You know what I'm talking about? She's like digging in that well of power. That scene. Aline had molten silver eyes. Aline usually has turquoise eyes. Not today! A god took over and she shot out this white silver flames. Like this is the godly power. The cauldron emits this type of power. The cauldron is basically the god of the ACOTAR universe. Now my theory is that Armin is the god of fire. At the end, when she takes her true form, she's just this like big fire monster. And she just like burns everything, incinerates everything, and then like burns out because she uses all her god power. I don't know. I actually had this theory while I was reading this that like they're gonna break the cauldron and the world was gonna crumble and they're gonna have to open up like a word key passage thing and like go to Selena's world and then the world would, they'd be there to help. That was really far-fetched, but like it would have been cool. That moment before they left for the war meeting when Nesta came down the stairs and was like, I'm coming with you. What do you mean? I will not be remembered as a coward. What are you talking about? No one would think of you like that. I would think of myself like that. Oh, this war meeting. We learned so much about all of the other High Lords. And then we had the moment we were all waiting for because we knew Tamlin had to show up. Like, yeah, he hasn't RSVP'd, but guess what's gonna cause a lot of drama? Tamlin showing up. Gasps everywhere. He's just alone, he doesn't have an entourage, and he's like pissed. This guy needs to go to some therapy, like work on his anger issues, because the shit that he was spewing. He comes into this meeting of all these like alpha males sitting in a circle trying to find a way to work together. The first thing he does is cast doubt in everyone's mind about Rysand. On everything he said. Spews this shit about Feyre, just like talking about her climaxing and stuff. Favorite moment of the day when Rysand cuts off his ability to speak. Shut your mouth and sit down. During the meeting, when Baronet insulted Cassian and Nesta stood up and defended him. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Nesta watching Cassian fight. That scene where everyone stopped during like the second battle and just watched Cassian slay like Ares himself on the battlefield. Oh man, it was really cool to see the best of the best that we've grown to know and love as like family in their element. My favorite aspect of A Court of Wings and Ruin was all the sisterly bonding that was happening throughout. I love when Nesta confided in Feyre and told her that she can't get into a bathtub anymore. Please, somebody get this woman a shower and get this woman a pair of pants. They're gonna change her life. When she said she's never worn pants before, I was like, Somebody make some! The sisterly bonding angle kind of culminated when the cauldron came and took revenge on Nesta by taking Elaine. My heart, just seeing Nesta's reaction when that happened and Feyre's reaction. Favorite part of the whole book, the heist to get Elaine out of that camp. It's shapeshifting time, bitches! She gets to the camp. She finds Elaine. The alarms go off as they leave. And they're running and they can't win until they get outside the ward. These hound monsters are after them. The king is walking like nice and slow because he's like, there's no way they're getting away from me. And then the hounds actually take Feyre down because of course, she's drained like she is every other second of my life in this book. Not only is she down, she's also shot with a freaking ash arrow in the shoulder. I'm already sitting on the edge of the couch like, oh yeah, just reading these words. You know what seems fantastic? When you read it like, the hounds are all over her and then Tamlin comes and it's just like right out of Beauty and the Beast. Starts fighting the hounds so that Feyre can run. Feyre starts running. Aziriel is ahead of her. There's a girl, random girl that was being tortured that Jurian left for them at the top of the hill waiting by the cliff. And Aziriel turns back and screams that they're gonna have to get airborne. Aziriel has Elaine strung across his back and Feyre's like already on her last leg. She can't run good. She uses that last bit of power to form her stupid wings and they're sprinting and she's like 50 steps from the thing. Aziriel's like almost to the girl waiting at the cliff and Elaine is screaming to the girl, grab him if you want to live! As they like ram into the girl and Aziriel starts flying. A hound jumps at Aziriel, like slashes down his wings. Elaine is on him, just like trying to kick at the hound. She does. She manages to get the hound up. Aziriel is freaking bleeding out, trying to flap his way out of there. Feyre is still sprinting and she cannot get up. She can't get in the air. And it's just like oh my god, my heart. I was just crying. I was like, she's not gonna get out of there. And she like breaks open the ward so Aziriel can get out of the wards, but she needs to get out there too because she doesn't have any strength to winnow. Oh my Jesus. At the last second, like she needs to get off the ground. She needs to get off the ground. She can't. Tamlin sends a wind to blow her wings up off the ground so she still doesn't manage to do it and she like flies off the cliff and Aziriel screaming at her to bank and at the last second like they grab each other's hand and my god, what a fantastic scene. My heart, my tears, my face. It reminded me of that scene in Deathly Hallows when the snake is attacking Harry and then like it doesn't end there because we get home and then they all sleep together next to each other on the floor on the rug just like cuddling together and my heart. That final battle though, we waste away all our energy winnowing the night before. Feyre decides, you know what, it's time to get that Oberus mirror to get the bone carver on her side. Supposedly you go mad if you look into the mirror and she just like sees herself as like a wolf beast and I thought that was it. I was like, really? That was supposed to break her? I mean, like, at least give her a challenge. But then we find out she sees, like, her whole life and everything inside her. She just has to confront her own demons, basically. And she comes out of it owning herself. She brings the mirror to the bone carver and he's like, wow, you got it. You know what? Okay, I'll come with you. You're worthy. I'm sorry, what? I don't really need that. It was a test to see if you are worthy. I'm sorry. Excuse me? Typical. Such typical godlike behavior. We get to the battle. We're losing super hard, even though we've got the Weaver and the Bone Carver and Braxis, whose name is really close to Abraxas. Armin told us that to turn off the tub, we need all four of us. Armin, Nesta, Elaine, and Feyre. And we all have to touch it and do this spell. We have to get there when the battle's falling apart so that we can turn it off. Before they can get there, the bathtub like explodes with golden light and incinerates almost the entire Illyrian Legion. And Nesta's screaming for Cassian. I'm freaking out because I'm like, oh my god, this is it. Sarah makes it sound like Cassian died, but he actually came down because Nesta was screaming for him. So after this scene, we're like, okay, this is it. We gotta go. We gotta turn it off before it goes again. And Nesta's like on the floor retching because when the cauldron rears up to explode, she feels like she stole a chunk of the cauldron. Oh, that's what happened last time. She stole a chunk of cauldron power. How? I don't know. And the cauldron wants it back. So the cauldron, yes, it's a bathtub, but now that it like wants stuff, I'm picturing like a bathtub with an eye at the bottom, just like a floating giant eye that winks open. Now we just saved Cassian from incineration. It's time to shut it off. Nesta is retching on the floor, and Elaine's retching just because she's like scared. And Farrah's like, oh, is it okay if I just like go by myself? You think I should just turn it off by myself? And Armin's like, yeah, I think you could just do it with you and me. I'm just standing here like, why would we risk something like turning off the bathtub to save the world? Why? How? Why? Because these girls are feeling nauseous. Excuse me? They're not dead. Everyone's feeling nauseous. Get off the ground and follow us. The new troops come in, right? We hear brr, 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 and there's more Hybern troops, and then like a second later there's like a boop, a doop, a doop, and all the other troops have arrived. Their dad comes up with like a whole fleet of ships and Swan Princess, and like the ships are named after their daughters, and it was just like, I burst into tears. I can't deal with this. When this happens, Rysand picks up Farrah, Cassian picks up Nesta to like look at it in the air, and I'm like, guys, we're kind of in the middle of something. We're about to go save the bathtub. But they're like, just a second, we're just gonna look at it. And then they're looking at it, and then Draken flies up. And he's like, hey guys, sorry we're late. And they're like, it's okay, at least you came. And they're like, what's going on? What's up in the club? Meanwhile, battle is raging. People are dying everywhere. I'm just sitting here in the corner like, guys. So, how's Miriam? Guys, like, what's up with your island? Like, why couldn't we get in touch with you? And even like halfway through the conversation, Draken was like, are we just gonna stand here flapping our wings? Or are we gonna do something about it? We finally get down, and Nesta's like, you know what? We need to distract the king because he's gonna be next to the cauldron anyway, so you're not gonna be able to touch it. So let me sacrifice myself. Cassian, you come sacrifice yourself with me. And then we spend another 10 years. We're gonna sacrifice ourselves for you. No, you can't. Yeah, we are. No, we're doing it. No, I will not allow it. God, you have to allow it. Are you kidding me right now? We finally run for the bathtub. It's just Armin and Farrah going for it. The bathtub's on top of the cliff. They get to the top, and Armin's like, put your hand on the bathtub. Farrah touches the bathtub, and Armin's like, sorry, I lied to you. And Farrah just like swooshed away with the cauldron. I'm just left here like, what the fuck is going on? I couldn't comprehend that Armin had betrayed them because like it wasn't in character for Armin. But at the same time, like, why did she apologize? They was just like on this journey with the cauldron for like 100 years while we watched the king freaking snapping people's necks. Like it's nobody's been like he's Catherine Pierce on the Vampire Diaries. He just like walks up to people, snaps their necks. Back to Nesta Cassian. They are not doing hot versus the king, and it is stressing me to like another dimension. Nesta isn't gonna die. Like I know she isn't, but she doesn't know how to use her powers, and he's like crushing Cassian's wings. Like I was yelling out. His bone is like sticking out of his leg. He's like crawling to Nesta. They're both gonna die, and Nesta puts herself on top of him, and they're gonna die together. And Cassian's like, I have one regret, and it is not having time together with you. It's basically a proclamation of love right then and there. And they're about to die, and what happens? But Elaine comes up and stabs the king. He's like, don't touch my sister! Yeah, bitch! But then we get to the end of the book. It's like that little proclamation didn't even happen. I mean, Nesta's upset because her dad died, and I think the last things she said to him were pretty hateful. And we get home, and like, Nesta and Cassian don't even like look at each other, and Cassian like doesn't even say anything, and like it's just like they're hanging out, and like Nesta's upstairs, and I'm just like, what the fuck just happened? I thought we were like there, you know, like will they or won't they? Will they or won't they? I love you. Oh my god, we're gonna die. And then it's like, wait, next scene we're over here again. What happened? I thought we did it. We did it. We did it. Cassian, you can't just be like, my one regret in life is not having time together with you. And then, like, make believe it didn't happen when you get home. No. And then after all this, we finally zoom back, and it's like, slap her in the face. Wake up! Maybe if you hadn't let Nesta and Elaine run off, like, at least take Elaine. Okay, we need Nesta to be a distraction. Sacrifice. Fine. Elaine's just like sick for a second. We're like, oh, sorry, she can't touch the bathtub with us. She can't help. She's just too busy. So Amren hops into the bathtub. We do the spell to release her from her mortal bonds. Like at the end of Pirates 3, she goes off and murders everybody, and the bathtub breaks when she comes out of it because it's like that powerful. She's that powerful. She's just like the bathtub. You know, she's made from that same stuff because she's a god too. It's all very interesting because what does it take to break the bathtub? It just makes you think this world must not have gods like that. Their god is just the bathtub. And then there's gods in different forms on the different parallel universes. I don't know. You know, it gets weird when you start thinking about it real in depth. Like, the earth is starting to cave because we broke the bathtub. And we get the whole rice sand scene. Don't worry, let's just fix it. It's fine. Everything's fine. Rice sand dies. Feyre flips all her shits because for some reason it just didn't register that this would kill him. At the very end of the book, we switched to a rice sand point of view, and like, it kind of scared the crap out of me because Feyre keeps thinking about how like, maybe this isn't real, and like, this is just like a dream in the cauldron, and I'm gonna wake up, everyone's gonna be dead. She said it more than once, and then we switched to Rice Sand's point of view, and I'm so afraid it's gonna be like some weird twist where it's like not actually Rice Sand in his body, and I'm reading it like so hesitantly. He's just like in the kitchen thinking about like how this is real. He has this like brotherly moment with the bros, and I'm just like, where is it? Where's the drop? I'm expecting it to be like Stranger Things, but like that moment didn't come. It was just like, let's go have a magic carpet ride together. I could show you the world at the end. I'm just like, is that it? Just like so scared for like the cliffhanger, and it didn't come. Sarah clearly likes a happy ending. We didn't rap at all on Lucien. He was gone the whole time, and it turns out he didn't even get the queen. It was all their dad. I'm not really sure how all that like political stuff worked out, and the dad knew he had to rescue that one queen or where she was. We're gonna hopefully get resolved with him and Helion, and Eris is gonna take the Autumn Court throne. Eris's redemption arc hasn't been finished. It just started. We're just getting hints that like there's something more there. Riddle me this now. The king had a leash on that bathtub. Like, he can make it do whatever he wanted. It was his own personal death magic machine. Now, in my previous book talk, I was talking about how like, why is that bathtub his bitch? And is it because he put that bathtub back together? Now that bathtub works for him. Like, it's like a genie, kind of. You rub that lamp, now you're that genie's boss. Now, we broke the bathtub again. And who put that bathtub back together? Feyre and Rice Sand is magic bathtub god. Now, Feyre and Rice Sand's bitch. Does it matter, really, where we store it if Feyre can call that bathtub whenever she needs it? Is she ruler of the bathtub now? It took both of their depleted powers to bring that bathtub back to life. I think they might be bathtub king and queen of the universe now, honestly. They are the ruler of the Elder Wand. It responds to them now. I think. The bathtub is going to be stored on Crete, Draken and Miriam's Magic Island. Let's talk about this Crete island. There are a few things in this book that felt like they happened more conveniently. Like the dad, you know, bringing the ships. Like, it was such a great gesture, but I just wish I, like, had more insight into how that went down. How did we make a deal with Dark Sorcerer that his Swan Princess could, like, run across the world and help with the war? How? Why? Who is this Dark Sorcerer that's like, okay, that's fine. You got 2 weeks vacation. Don't take any horny nickels. Like, who does that? Who does? It makes you think that, like, is this dark magician really a dark magician? Who is that guy? He could potentially be a villain in our next trilogy. Is the next trilogy, do we know for sure it's going to be narrated by Feyre? Or is it going to be told from, like, that queen's point of view? Or are we going to see from the beginning of the Swan Princess story? Where was I going with this? Ah, cop-out. Okay, I can suspend my disbelief for that. I think there's more of a story happening. But the whole Crete Island thing, like, where were you? We looked forever. We tried to send messengers. Oh, it turns out, like, our shields on the island were just like working a little too well. Like, they just kept out villains and they also kept out friends. Sorry. What? Valaris has these same shields that's kept people out for years, right? But like, we are from Valaris. Wouldn't we know to look for these sorts of shields? Shouldn't we know? If they told me that, I would have been like, side-eye, side-eye. You gotta be shitting me. You were there the whole time. I wonder if it is a lie, and that's why it feels so conveniently like a cop-out. Maybe they don't actually want to reveal where they actually are. We'll see. We also have this lingering deal with Braxius. Braxius is hyped up as this horrifying demon in the bottom of the library, right? Feyre was down there with Nesta fighting for their lives. She asked for help. What will you give me? What do you want? I want company. So you can eat them? No, I just want to tell them stories of my life. What? So she makes this deal like, you wanted someone to talk to sometimes? Okay. And then they go down a second time to make a deal to fight to the death for them in this war. What does she want? A window. The monster wants a window. One coffee date. and a window. Is this gonna come back to bite us in the ass? I don't think she like fulfilled the first one yet. I mean, when she came down to ask for a second favor, Braxis was like, why are you here? And she's like, I'm here to fulfill our bargain. You asked for company. I don't think that actually fulfilled it because like they didn't have a long chat about Braxis's life. We gotta see them build this window for Braxis. I mean, like, are they gonna be friends now? I don't know. I don't know if we're trying to go for like the idea that we just don't understand Braxis. She's not actually a scary monster. We just look at her that way because we don't understand her. And then we have one last vow, one last bargain that we're gonna be on the hook for. That is a Romeo and Juliet pact that Rysand and Feyre make. So if one of them goes, they're gonna go together. It's official. Like, there's a tat for that. And now we've got Armin as a regular high fae, and I'm excited. You know, I'm bummed that Nesta's in a bad place right now. It's kind of like role reversal with where Elaine was in the beginning of this book. It looks like Azriel actually might be getting shipped with Elaine. And then we have Elaine also kind of getting to know Lucien, who is her mate. But ever since we learned that little tidbit about how the mating bond isn't always right, it is possible to just choose not to be with the person you've mated with. I feel like we gotta see that happen. For a second, I thought maybe there was a mating bond with Eris and Mor did not want that, and that was like Eris's little secret. Those, I think, are all my thoughts on Akor. I love to hear what your favorite parts were. Thank you so much for watching. Please share your thoughts. I'm Christine. I make videos every Tuesday. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye!